Culture is everything. Storytelling is part of culture. Dancing is part of culture. What about the kind of food we eat? What about the attires? Today, I have in the house Professor Wilfred Uji. He is a professor that has done so much. When we say so much in the academic session, he is a professor of history and international study from the Federal University, Lafia. We have him in the house today to tell us so much about the culture of the TIV tribe in Benue State. Remember, what we do here, we do the 3 major tribes in Benue State. And I am honored and privileged to have him in the studio. Please, let's go talk to our daddy. All right. Welcome, sir, to the studio today. I am so honored to have you in the house. Welcome, sir, Prof.
It's a privilege having me, and it's nice being here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, too.
Okay. I know you've done so much in the part of history, and the history, you have done something very, very good when we talk about the TIV tribe. So now we want to know how, I said what and how did the TIV marriage, when I'm talking of marriage now, I'm talking about the traditional marriage. How does it come about?
I think first and foremost is to correct this. I know why that wrong concept is there. Okay. We're not tribes. Yeah, we are ethnic groups, and I think we need to clarify that in that the idea of a tribe, the concept tribe, suggests that you were living in isolation from each other. Okay. And perhaps we're always in a constant state of war. Europeans had a way of depicting African ethnic groups. Now, they had this notion that we existed as tribes. That word tribe, and of course, it's racist to some extent. And we need to decolonize that completely. That as a historian, what we emphasize is ethnicity, ethnic groups. And it boils down to even the question you threw at me, that you want to know the marriage traditions of the T people. What is marriage in the cultural setting? Yes. And how is marriage consummated also in the cultural setting? Yes. And as an aspect of culture, which culture is a very broad thing, because when you say culture, you're looking at the artifacts of culture. There's a material culture, yes, yeah. The concrete things you could see. Yeah. We have to look at the T people, their marriage and institution, yeah. And of course their marriage culture. We have to return a little bit into some aspect of history. And let me say clearly from the outset that there's no culture that has grown over time in isolation. The T people have their history, very rich history that has been articulated over time, first by European anthropologists, but they were a little bit wrong in terms of understanding the history of the T people. Then, of course, much later also by indigenous scholars who did research into the T people and so on. But of course, there's still much that desires to be done. And of course, even recently, there's a lot in that respect. And of course, I've been, part of the project, to unearth, who are the T people. There are controversies here and there. but we may not need to entertain ourselves with those controversies here. Now, remember when we were in school, we taught about the Bantu migrations in Africa, as far back as the 7th century AD, Bantu migrations. People may have forgotten that. But the idea is that the T people, are a proto-Bantu group. When you say proto is similar, there are other similarities here and there that you could, compare them with, and that was why when Arisi Abraham wrote about the T, people, he brought out these similarities based on a 67 word list where he established, that affinity between the T people, the T language, and the Bantu Nyanza language in terms of linguistic, affinity, and saying based on that drew a conclusion that they had a close shared relationship.